These days, a lot of people you hear about are retiring in their 50s. We hear earlier and earlier people are retiring. So you know it is quite a feat when you mark 50 years at the same job. And that is the case for one Prairie du Chien man who is really, to that town, nothing less than legendary. We travel south for this week's In Search of Reports.
It's a quiet morning on the streets of Prairie du Chien. But when 8 o'clock rolls around,
News of Pink and Blue at Boscobel Area Healthcare.
A familiar voice can be heard throughout town.
Today's posted prices include corn at $6.64.
Radio man Norb Asham is a staple in this community.
He's an institution to this town, and for so many folks that have grown up here, generations of people know him, know the voice.
Prairie du Chien woman.
And in a small town like this, someone like Norb is someone they can trust.
And trust they have for decades.
Great vendor.
On April 1st, Norb marked 50 years on the air at WQPC FM and WPRE AM.
I was always interested in radio. Of course, in those days, you listened. It was the golden age. You listened to the dramas and the comedies every night.
Well, let's hear a word from our sponsor.
Over the years, Norb's voice has been a constant, but his job responsibilities have been anything but.
I've worn every hat possible except engineer. From program director, news director, director of public affairs, ag director, public service.
And his routine has changed along with his job titles. Yes, he still works full time, but instead of lunch at noon,
Take a nap, and then come back from 2 to 5, yeah.
We squeeze a nap in now.
Yeah, you gotta have a nap.
Valued at $3,500.
as it goes in small town radio, Norb has had more than a handful of colleagues along the way.
And I bet we've had 100 announcers come and go. Many use this as a stepping stone. Several are in really good broadcast markets now. Many are out of the business. Some are deceased. And every year, some come back, at least one or two every year, and they show their wife or the children or their grand. This is where I got my start in radio, right here.
He himself has had multiple opportunities to go on to bigger and better things. But every single time, something about this community holds him here.
You're like an extended family. I know that's overworked, but it's true. You know everybody by the first name. You could drive down the street and keep your hand in the air because everybody knows you. And you know everybody. How terrific is that?
You could go downtown to any business and walk in and just catch people on the street, and you say Norb, and they'll say Norb Asham on the radio. They know him. It's that voice. Again, he's living, breathing history in Prairie du Chien, and someone who I think all generations can feel proud of.
For now, Norb has no plans to bid his listeners farewell.
I plan to keep going for a while.
I moved away and come back many times, and as soon as I turn that radio station on, I know I'm home.
In Prairie du Chien with photographer Kirk Arneson, Jennifer Livingston, News 8.
And that's a look at news.
Well, he was so great when we went down there, but we had to actually play a little trick on Norb to get this story.
Okay.
His coworkers warned us that he's actually a very modest, kind of humble guy who wouldn't want this attention.
Okay.
And if we called him and asked him to come down, he would have kind of shoot us off and been like, no, this is no big deal.
Right.
So we surprised him. We showed up at the station unannounced, and we got you, Norb, didn't we? Congratulations on your 50 years on air, and keep it up. The folks
Absolutely.
at Prairie du Chien absolutely love you.